Good morning from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Saturday, February 11. Big snowstorm coming. Finally, we're getting a big snowstorm, real snow. Climate hasn't changed, but it has. Just have to live here and you know. The 1942 Century Imperial Sportsman's bottom is now fully enclosed and ready for next steps. Unfortunately, this plank right here could not be saved. We tried, but when we finally forced it flat, no matter how much water we put to it, all it did was open up new splits through and through, all the way through both sides of the plank. It was quite clear once we got it flat that it was badly decayed in the forward section, right where it rolls. So we had no choice but to fabricate and install a replacement plank here. The bottom is going to be painted. The bilge will be painted, so the loss is not extreme, but we wanted to save this plank. It just could not be saved. Everything is screwed down. The planks are all set in. We put a thin bead of 5200 along the battens. We had a bit of squeeze out, but not very much. That we cleaned to the bottom of the seams. In every case, we went right through using a putty knife and some cheesecloth and pulling it through and cleaning out the seams. The main keel is in place. We had to do some repair there. So what we have left to attach to the bottom is the outer keel. And fortunately, with a couple of small repairs, it is eminently savable. It is original, and that's what we're after. Looking at her from the nose, you never know what you will discover. This is the gripe right here, ends right here, and then continues on. We were installing the inner keel, and none of this planking was in place, and I inadvertently grabbed this just to get a little leverage, and I went, whoa, and the whole thing rocked and rolled. The fasteners, and I say that with a somewhat condescending tone of voice, these were the fasteners we found, or what was left of them. You got it, stainless steel. Somebody ran stainless steel fasteners through there. They rotted away, decayed, and so this was simply floating. What we did was to install new silicon bronze 3/8 through bolted carriage bolts here. When we put it back on, we bedded it in a heavy bead of 5200. This is not going anywhere. What is now before us as we move forward on this project, we will first run through and sand it, not aggressively, because the clinch nails and the brass screw heads and clinch nail heads are already, in many cases, standing proud. We don't want to sand those off. So we will sand it fair, put one coat of primer on it. We will use Petit Tie-Coat primer. And then I will come back with Interlux seam sealer for underwater applications, and I will pay it into all of these seams that are beneath the waterline until the sealer is fair with the wood itself. Why not use 5200? Well, we saw that early on in this project. You never use 5200 in this application, because if you use 5200 in this application, you get buckled planks, and worse. 5200, once it cures, will not compress. These guys absorb moisture, and it really doesn't matter how much we seal them, there's still some expansion. They try to expand. The 5200 will not compress. So guess what? The only thing left to compress is the wood, and it buckles. The interlock seam sealer, by contrast, never ever cures hard. We will pay it in, given the depth of these seams, they're about a little over a quarter of an inch, maybe 5/16, and I will work the material in, give it time to skin over on the top and begin curing, and then come back at least once and probably twice. All the countersinks will be filled and faired with 3M premium marine filler. Once that's all done, there'll be 2 more coats of primer, and then her owner will use this boat as a trailer boat, so we are not using anti-fouling bottom paint. We were going to use a very dark green, which is typical of Century in this period. We've done a lot of research, and almost all of the original boats we have found have dark green paint below the waterline. We still have to clean and install the splash rails. They will be set in 5200 as well. Once that's done, we will finish priming them, and the boat will be ready from the waterline down to flip. But then we, as I suggested in the previous video, when we get to the top sides, we really cannot attempt finishing this bright. Again, the clinch nail heads are standing proud. We would have to deal with all of this clay-like caulking material, take it out, replace it with material that has stain in it, but it's just not possible to sand this smooth enough to produce a good varnish result. So the owner there has opted to paint the top sides in high gloss black. It should produce an incredible result. The upholstery we do later will be done in the dark true green that's going on the bottom. The transom will be finished bright. It's going to be a rather stunning boat when we get there. So that's where we are on Saturday, February 11. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.